Okay guys, welcome to a look at Space Engineers. I have just acquired this today because it looked really interesting. Been messing with it for a couple of hours, and as you can see, it's basically a space simulation, I suppose you'd call it, but sandbox. So you have all these things in here that you can build. From a small spaceship to a large spaceship to a new actual space station that you can build on the meteorites and whatnot that are around here, on the asteroids and stuff. Put doors in, you can build your armors, your wall interiors, stairs, ramps, windows, lighting for inside and outside of your aircraft. Gravity generators, reactors large and small, gyroscopes to basically help control your spacecraft, and a cockpit for the larger aircraft. If you hit create a new small spaceship, I think it puts a cockpit there already, I think. You have things like refineries, assemblers, medical rooms and things like that. Antennas look really cool, and the orb detector, not a body what that does. Now there are weapons on here at the minute, but they're not working. Same with our tools, are not working at the moment either. So this is only an alpha build. Now your little guy can run around, crouch and crawl through little spaces and things like that. If you hit Alt, you get to look around a little. Now he's no, well, I was going to say he's no face, but you can't see him. No, the ship you see behind me, that big one, that's what I built before. You have your lights for your little guy. Oh, I've got auto save on as well in a minute. So, cause obviously you're in space, some stuff it does get a little dark. Zoom in and out. If you hit X, oh, you have a wee jetpack. Obviously there's gravity on here because there is a gravity generator, so if I hit X now, gravity drags me down. In the bottom right hand corner there you'll see the direction of gravity. This is the wee gravity generator here, you see. Obviously if you hit V you have first person mode. There's a lot of things on here at the minute that don't quite work or haven't been implemented yet, but you know, it is in very early stages of the game. These are large reactors for this ship. These floors look good. I think they're part of the inner walls. I'm not 100% sure on that. This is the cockpit for the larger spacecraft. Now make sure the orientation of the cockpit is facing the front of your spacecraft, otherwise it won't fly straight. If you press T, you gain control of the spacecraft. Are there any lights on this thing? No. But it looks really cool. So if I fly forward, it goes forward, but as soon as you let go, the reverse thrusters will kick in, so it automatically slows you down. See? This is really cool. Hit V to put it back. Obviously they are slow, these things, but I've figured out the longer the sweep you take to turn it, the better. You can rotate these, but again, the larger ships do take more to control because they are large. Smaller ships, more agile and stuff. It's really nice. Everything's got proper gravity behind it. Everything's got proper physics behind it. So that's nice. Now, the thing that I never get bored of is smashing into other aircraft, into other spacecraft. That is always fun. As you see, damage is pretty well modelled on these. And there are parts just floating off into space there. Let's go for a wee nosy. Stick my jetpack on. Yeah, that took a bit of a beating there. Ripped the whole front of the spacecraft off. And that took a bit of a smack as well. Which is really, really cool. Now, just knock up a custom world. Call it test. Description vid 1. I will do easy start 1, which is basically a map that I've just been on. Oh. So basically a full sandbox. You can sit there, build whatever you like, destroy whatever you like. I mean, I could go over to that asteroid over there and start building a space station, well, a base, you know, a bit like what's here. Put a gravity drive on and things like that. These little spacecraft over here, as you see, are very maneuverable because they're small. Oh, and I'm upside down. Very easy to get confused at what direction you're going in, just due to how fast and maneuverable they are. There are no weapons in this at the minute. They are disabled, as you see, which does suck a little, but they'll put them in eventually. Oh. As you see, whatever direction you're going, whenever you stop, oops, you know, it'll continue in that direction, which is cool. You know, the physics in it are very good. What you expect from space games these days. Well, I get very disorientated flying around in this thing. Now, I don't know how big the maps are going to be. I mean, there's not, most of that is a picture, all of that back there, but you know, there are a few rocks you can go to. As you see, I've smashed the hell out of the side of this, but I can rebuild it. We have the technology. And there's also, in the smaller aircraft, a cockpit mode, which is very cool. Oops. See if I can find my way back around again. Now this, you can invert your controls, but the only trouble is it inverts it for your little guy as well. So I would rather like it that it wouldn't do that. You know, it invert it for aircraft, but not for your little dude. As you can see, it's actually put a dent in the armor plating there, which is pretty cool. And that is pretty smashed up, to be honest. Put thrusters all over the place, because if you don't have them, you can't move in the opposite direction that your thrusters are facing. So, you know, just like a proper spacecraft. Now, if we go over here and knock up a new small spacecraft. Now, everything you see. In fact, I'll delete that because that's obviously with the gravity drive as well. If you jump off with no gravity on, you will fall. Let's get over here out of the way that one a minute. So if you hit G, it takes you to the creative mode bit. If you hit new small spacecraft, it gives you this little block. Now everything you press, it'll automatically pick up the size. So if you've got a small spacecraft here being built and a large one over there, you can build on this and then immediately just look at the large one and start building on that as well. Let me just sort out what I'm going to need here. I'm not going to need doors, am I? I'm going to need a cockpit. Walls. Small thrusters. I think the large ones might be a little bit large. Let's just see what I can knock up with that, shall we? So if we go, there's a wee thruster, look. 5, you see it automatically picks the sort of cockpit that you're going to need. So we'll stick that on the front of there like so. Nice little cockpit. Go to the blocks. Now if I hold control and left click, I can make a long list. Where you point, that's where it goes basically. Okay, so oops, bang my head there a little. So if I go like that and then go underneath, just a quick rough craft. Okay, now you want some thrust in this thing. Oh yeah, don't hit it before you've got thrusters on, because otherwise it'll bounce all over the place. Or your gyroscopes or what have you. So you need your little generators on and all them sort of things as well. And you can just sit there and spend hours upon hours, which some people already have, building a spacecraft. To get rid of stuff, you just look over it and you right click. You can do that the same way as building it. So control, right click, and it gets rid of everything. So your little ship has to have everything on. See if we can spot. So this obviously has this wee generators and that on the inside already. Oh, there's a guy in that apparently. So if that might just be a placeholder before you get in it. Obviously if you hit 0, go back to that. Bump. Never gets boring crashing spacecraft. It's always fun. Obviously the amount of thrusters you've got on is going to determine the speed at which things happen. Almost one of the wee generators or something. So the guys, see, built bits and bats into it. So you can design some really cool things. I've seen some pictures of some massive ships designed already. You know, obviously you can build these big docking stations. You can build anything you like. Obviously you've got different blocks that you can rotate in all manner of ways. You can also change the colour of them, which is really cool. Hence how you get these multicoloured spacecraft. You have corner blocks. Let's try and get that around. Multi-angle blocks. You know, so you can do a number of things. Obviously, you need your gravity drives to create the gravity. You need your generators and whatnot to get power to your engines. But interior-wise, you know, if you build them big enough, ladders, lighting, stairways, doors, half-covered walls, which I have in my other spacecraft, which I shall show you. Just get rid of that because we don't need it. It's one of those games where you start playing and you get lost in it. So this is the one I was building before. Took me a couple of hours because I was just messing around. I built a floor and then I just started adding things and adding things and adding things. There's the antennas on top. It's got full weapon systems all the way around, but obviously nothing's working yet. It's got huge lighting at the front as well. Maneuverability wise is a little bit slow at the minute. I haven't got enough thrusters on the sides. I might put another bank at the front there. It is actually quite fast. It does have a ton of engines at the back. It's got a couple on top there. Obviously landing gear and engines at the bottom. Now don't forget, this just started out as a couple of blocks. I eventually started putting together and playing around. There's the inside. The back here I have two of the large generators which are built through the floor there. There is my gravity generator, and there is my, oh, what's the name of it? Gyroscope. I stuck all the lighting in here and everything. The cockpit's at the front there. Up top we have some cargo units which still aren't doing much. Also the medical bay. There's the top of the reactor, or one of them. The top of the reactor is over in the other room there. We run through here to the cockpit. Now as you see at the front here, if I hit L, whoop, the lights will kick in. Bottom right hand corner there you'll see all the information about your spacecraft that you just built. How many thrusters it's got, gyroscopes, fuel time, which at the minute is 0 for some reason, because I'm not going anywhere, is it? Power usage, speed, mass, etc. Now I sort of figured that if you want it turning quick, you take long sweeps with the mouse and it eventually gets quicker and quicker. But you see, sideways motion is not that quick at all. I need more thrusters. Rotation's fairly good. Reverse speed's a bit poop because I've only got the 2 thrusters. See, it is building slowly though, but it goes pretty quick. I mean, I've been looking at some pictures on Steam, because this is on the Steam workshop, and there are some crazy people out there with far too much time on their hands at the minute by the looks of it, and I've made some huge spacecraft. As you typically notice, there's going to be usual replicas being knocked up. I've already seen a Millennium Falcon and a few other Titans and things like that, you know, Halo and things. I myself might knock up a few replicas just for a laugh. But it's a really, really interesting game. You can see it's going to be interesting in a way that it's total sandbox, so people are going to create some amazing things. I'm going to have a play around with creating a docking station or something like that soon. But I've come from Kerbal Space Program, so I quite like building spaceships and weird things. But you know, getting all the blocks, putting them in the right positions and spinning them around to look right and things is it's really good fun. And your imagination is your limit in this game. It really is. I just noticed I've missed something, but never mind, I'll sort that later. So, you know, have a look at it on Steam if you like. See what you think. And, you know, I'm hoping it's going to be a really good game. What would be cool is if they make it multiplayer online. I don't know the plans for it at the minute, if it's going to be a single player sandbox or single player campaigns and things, but if they put this online so everybody can interact and go to each other's things, that's going to be pretty cool. See if I have autosave on this, because I tend to cock things up quite regularly. So that's my review for Space Engineers, guys. So take a look at it. There's a website for it there, at the bottom of the screen. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like it and subscribe to my channel for other such videos of up and coming games. There'll be some Battlefield 4 content coming back on as soon as the game's released in the UK, and a lot more PlanetSide stuff, hopefully whenever I've got a little bit of time off work. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully see you soon.